So I bought all the pixel remasters of Final Fantasy 1 through 6 because I eventually want to beat all the mainline games. I've been weaving them in between playthroughs of other longer games because FF 1 through 6 are all fairly short. I've got to say, I think I liked 1 more than 2. The main reason being that 2 had a somewhat odd skill system where the more you used your weapons and magic, the better you became at using them, the more effective they were, which made for an odd and less than desirable effect where when you had other party members join your party, you just weren't as powerful as your other main members who had been, grinding for longer. On top of that, it seemed like it was really rewarding to just use the same weapon type over and over. I more or less had everyone using swords my entire playthrough, and at one point I actually tried to switch to axes, but quickly switched back to swords because I couldn't even damage the enemies. They were just taking 0 damage from my attacks. In order for me to see the top level weapon efficacy and magic skills, I would have had to grind a considerable amount, and even with the boost towards experience and gil and other things that the pixel remasters afford you, it was still a hefty grind. The story, while not exactly lackluster, also didn't feel particularly special. There's an evil emperor, you've got to defeat them, so on and so forth. It's clear these early Final Fantasies ended up being very much about the series finding its footing, which, if you're a gamer nerd like myself, is its own reward for traversing through. Seeing the origins of certain monsters and characters has been really cool. Would I recommend it? Much like FF1, with an asterisk, where its greatest boon is actually that it's not a long enough game to really consider a great commitment. If you plan on playing it without a walkthrough or without all the experience and guild boosts, it could easily end up being a game that will take you much longer to complete. But especially if you're just in it for the experience, I'd say go for it. The Final Fantasies I played as a kid were 7, 10, and 13 mainly, and I thought it'd be neat to play through all the mainline games before I eventually replay those and beat them as a way of paying homage to the series. So I've been having fun with that. If you, like myself, have dreams of beating every mainline Final Fantasy, then the pixel remasters are a great pickup. I think I liked 1 more so far because the mechanics were just simpler and the somewhat cookie cutter story just felt more in line with that. That's about it though. I'm not super up or down on FF2. It was a good experience. Like I said, if you just want to beat all the Final Fantasies, mess around. Thanks for watching.